This is problem 15.3 from chapter 15 of Brigham and Houston's Fundamentals of Financial Management, Concise 9th edition. And here we're comparing the cost of trade credit to the cost of a bank loan. Lancaster Lumber buys $8 million of crap a year on terms of 3.5 net 55, and it pays on the fifth day. That means that the $8 million it spends, they've already been able to take a 3% discount because every time they buy something, they pay within 5 days. Lancaster, though, is thinking about it expanding, and if they expand, that will require additional financing. So they're going to have to get some additional capital from somewhere, and they've thought, hey, you know what, if we, instead of paying on the 5th day, we pay on the 55th day, that would allow us to increase our accounts payable, and that way, that would be a way of funding this. Well, accounts payable is typically a fairly expensive way of borrowing money, but let's walk through some of the math on here. Under the current system and under the new plan, purchases, currently it'd be $8 million a year. All right, that's what they buy now. Under the new plan, they wouldn't be able to take the discount. So that wouldn't be $8 million, it'd actually be, divide that by 1 minus the discount rate. That would mean that they'd actually have to pay $8,247,423 for the same goods. All right, they'd have to pay full price instead of the discounted price that they've been paying. All right, the days of payables currently is 5, and if they expanded, that'd go up to 55. Okay, 1 day's, if I had 1 day's payable, all right, so divide that by 365, that's how much it is per day. So I could get the accounts payable balance. Right now it's 5 days, and at 21,918 a day, their accounts payable would run about 109,589 at any given point in time. Under the new plan, it'd be about 1.25 million. All right, so let's look at what the change would be. All right, so looking at the difference under the new plan versus the old plan, your goods would cost you $247,000 more per year. And you'd get a series of 50-day loans. So you've added 50 days of payables. The 50 days worth of payables that you've added at 22,596 would mean that you essentially, we don't need that number. Essentially, your accounts payable goes from 109,589 to 1,242,762. So essentially, you're raising $1.1 million, but it's costing you $247,000 a year. So that's pretty darn close to 25% interest. We've got actually formulas for that, though. The nominal cost of trade credit would be equal to the discount divided by 100 minus the discount, and then multiply that by 365 divided by the trade credit period minus the free trade credit period. Okay, so right now the discount is 3%, and so the daily rate, for the periodic rate, I should say, periodic rate would be 3% divided by 100% minus 3%. So they'd be paying a little bit extra. It's not just 3%, it's actually closer to 3.1%. And then the number of periods per year they'd have to do that would be equal to 365 divided by 55 minus 5. So we can convert this into a nominal rate of 3.09% per period times 7.3 periods per year, and that comes out to about 22.6% a year. Now the effective rate's a little bit higher. We'll discuss this at length when we get to Chapter 5, the time value of money, but the formula for that is a little bit different. The effective rate, trade credit, is equal to 1 plus the periodic rate, which in this case would be 3 divided by 97, raised to the power of the number of periods per year, and then minus 1. The minus 1 is to take that 1 back out of this part of it. Alright, so that'd be equal to 1 plus the periodic rate raised to the number of periods a year minus 1, and so it's slightly higher, but still around 25%. So that's the cost that would be associated with failing to take the discounts, about 25%. Compare that to a bank loan at 9%. All right, so the bank loan rate, the nominal bank loan rate would be 9%. And you have monthly payments, so the effective rate on the bank would be equals to 1 plus 9% divided by 12, you paid it monthly, raised to the 12th power, minus 1. And that'd be a little bit higher. But still, if that's the cost of the bank credit, if you're comparing 22% to 9% or 25% to 9%, it doesn't make sense to use accounts payable to fund this particular expansion. What would make better sense is simply borrow the money from the bank.